Welcome back, everybody, to the Nerds with Chainsaws podcast. We are your hosts, Dalton Wright and Brett Drogemeyer.
How's it going, everybody?
To kick things off here, I get to finally finish that, what is it? Black Bear Distillery Cachaça, the special stuff.
Last drink with it?
Last drink with it. I had 2.5 ounces left, so poured it in a glass, poured in some Sprecher's root beer, and that's how we're finishing it off.
Sounds good. I'm actually finishing off some of my Colorado beers from a while back. I had a couple left, so I'm finishing off the Cerveza, from Colorado Native, aka Coors.
Coors. To kick off a topic here, I had just probably the busiest freaking day possible. Not by like volume, just by complexity. Every single issue that I faced today at work none of them were easy solves or quick solves. They were all hour-plus long problems. And my brain kind of hurts.
Yeah.
One of them, never seen this before in my life, and neither has my boss, the director of our IT department. Never seen this happen. This girl came in Friday. Like, Friday afternoon, I dealt with her almost like every 30 minutes. I would try something to fix it, she'd come back. Same problem. Her computer was just shutting off. For no reason, it was just turning off. So at first I was like, okay, display updates. They do that. When the display is updating, it turns the screen on and off. Like, goes black, comes back a second later, and shows it's not doing that, it's turning off. Okay, I guess pop your computer up, let's look at it, and sure enough it did. It's like, well, I'm just gonna check normal updates. We'll start there. Every good IT guy. Have you updated your computer? Check updates, there's a display update, and a firmware. So I run those, and I tell her, hey, when these finish, plug your computer in, because the firmware needs to be plugged in. Restart your computer, let them go through, and we'll take it from there. I think that'll fix it. Comes back like 10 minutes later, and didn't fix it. Go, did you restart it? She goes, yeah. Okay. I can try to find some of the hidden optional updates, see what we got going on there. So I go to do that, and it turns off on me again. So I'm like, yeah, not working. But when it boots back up, it starts doing the firmware updates. I'm like, you didn't fucking restart it like I told you to. So I let it run through that, give it back to her. Still having the same issue. So I'm like, okay, it wasn't actually the updates. Let's go find some drivers that they hide from literally everybody, and you need admin passwords to do from Dell Tech Direct or Dell Support Assist. Go to Dell Support Assist. There's a couple drivers there. Run those. I'm like, okay, now we should be working.
Nope.
Give it back to her the next day. Comes back 10 minutes later. I'm like, God, motherfucker. What's going on with this stupid thing? I'm like, well, I have one choice left. I have one option left, and it's not what I wanted to do. I'm going to wipe this thing. Just completely refresh it, new image. You have anything you need to save on here? She is double checking, making sure. Turns off on her while she's checking. She goes, I don't care anymore, just do it. I'm like, okay.
Fair enough.
So I re-image it, run all the updates after I image it, making sure it's completely up to date. Hasn't turned off on me yet. So I'm like, okay, this is going to be good. The screen just goes to sleep while I'm working on something else. I go to double check on it, and I'm already on the phone with my boss for a different issue at this point. Go to type in the admin password, turns off on me. I'm like, what the fuck? Okay. Turn it back on, go to type it again, turns off on me. I'm like, dude, hold up.
It just made it worse.
I was like, I have a theory now. It was only when I was trying to capitalize anything. So I'm like, what if I just click shift? What happens if I just click shift? So I hit shift, turns off.
What the fuck?
Okay. theory is almost confirmed here. Let's try it again. Turn it back on. Click shift, turns off. I'm like, what the fuck? The shift is tied to the power.
What the
Huh?
fuck?
So I'm on the phone with my boss, and I just go, so side issue here while you're working on the main thing I called you for. I have a shift button acting as a power button. He just goes, what? I'm like, I don't know, but that's what's happening. He's like, I've never heard of that before in my life. I'm like, you fucking me too, brother. Don't, any suggestions here? He's like, well, have you checked the accessibility settings to see if someone, like, changed it? So I'm like,
Like
it's a fresh
remapped
image.
it, yeah.
There can't be any accessibility settings. It's like, what? Is there some sort of weird crosswire going on? I'm like, brother, power and the keyboard don't share any sort of wiring. There's no chance a crosswire can happen like that. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna try a couple of things on the main problem, and I'm gonna open this thing up. I'm gonna see what the fuck's going on. I'll call you back later. So I hang up, open the computer up, and can't see anything wrong with it. So unplug the battery, unplug the cables I need to work on, unscrew the little board that has all the buttons on it, and pull that off. There's 3 little chunks of broken plastic right next to where the power button would sit and where the very edge of the keyboard would be. And so when you press on that section of the keyboard, which just so happens to be the shift button, it just ever so slightly pushes these 3 pieces of broken plastic into the power button.
And turns it off.
And fucking turns it off. So I'm like, no shot that this computer broke internally and made a bridge between the shift and the fucking power. Pull the pieces out, give it back to the chick, never came back. I'm like, that is stupid. What the hell?
That's like the dumbest set of coincidences I've ever fucking heard.
That's how Dell is. Dell fucking, oh my god. Every week that passes, I hate Dell a little more.
They're the new HP.
Dude, for real, like...
Except when it comes to printers. HP printers are just straight god-awful.
HP printers are trash. I can't confirm because of another weird fucking issue. There's ghost printers.
What?
At the middle school, the assistant principal, his printer, we've struggled the entire time. It's an HP printer. And we got it fixed though last semester, and I was like, thank God, I never have to deal with this printer again. Catches me in the hallway and goes, I was just coming to look for you. I'm like, oh no, what's going on? It's gonna be something with your phone, isn't it? It's always something with your phone. And he just goes, my printer's acting up again, it won't work. I'm like, you're fucking kidding me. That was even worse than saying it was a phone problem.
That's an even worse issue. God damn it.
So I'm like, oh, okay, I'll go over. And he's sitting there and he's talking to me about it. And he's like, it says it was out of paper, so I put more paper in it. It still won't print. It's got toner. Nothing will go through. So I'm like, okay. I go find HP Smart because HP has to do everything fucking proprietary. Open up its app. And he's got 2 printers of the exact same thing in there. One of them idle, one of them offline. AKA, one of them doesn't exist. I'm like, you have 2 printers in here that are connected to the same printer. That's probably your issue. And he goes, I had that happen last week and somebody took it off for me. He's like, how do they keep showing up? I'm like, honestly, at this point, you need to go get a priest and fucking exercise this printer. You got a demon doing something to this thing, brother. So I delete the fake printer that doesn't exist, and lo and behold, it starts working again. I'm like, dude, I swear to God, I'm gonna quit after this week.
We have an HP printer at work that never fucking works. And so every time we need to print something, we have to completely uninstall the printer and the printer's program, the HP fucking program, and reinstall it to get it to work. And then, like, we can print for, like, a day, and then it fucking breaks again, and we have to repeat the process.
Printers are just awful. All of them. HP especially, but just all of them.
It doesn't seem... we've been printing shit since the fucking 80s. You'd think it'd be something we'd have figured out, like, down pat by now, but I guess not.
So that's the cool thing. Because I thought the same thing. I was like, how have we not made a better printer? How is this... What is the pinnacle? Like, printers haven't changed in fucking 30 years. And so I looked it up and watched a bunch of documentaries over it and shit. And this is as good as printers can get. Like, the only way that we can make printers better is a brand new technology. Some new way to put ink on paper. This is it. This is as best as it can possibly be. And part of the reason it is that way is because there's a monopoly in the printer market. There's only 5 brands, maybe 6, that are even allowed to make printers in the US. Like, you can't just go start a printer company tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's not a thing you can do.
You have to follow a bunch of government regulations so that you don't, like, allow people to print fucking money and shit super easily.
Not even that. That's not even the reason why. The actual reason why is, have you ever had a printer that you're trying to print fucking black and white or grayscale or whatever, and it hits you with you're out of yellow toner.
Yeah.
You need to go get more yellow toner. Like, what the fuck do you mean? I'm not trying to print in yellow. Print black. Every single printer made as microscopic, invisible to the human eye, specific dot matrix pattern of yellow dots. Every single time it prints. So that if you were to print a ransom note or something, they can trace the paper back to the printer.
What the fuck?
They know exactly where every single piece of paper has ever been printed.
So handwrite your notes.
If you're going to do something illegal, don't print. Because they can get traced back to a printer. That's the actual reason why there's no other...
That's fucking...
No other companies
stupid.
are allowed. Ooh, it's fucking crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
I learned that, I'm like, that is actually insane. That just... Not a conspiracy theorist, but that's fucking... That's just kind of proof that some of this shit, some of these conspiracies are probably real. Because who thinks of that? We're going to track all of our civilians by their printer.
Lucky for me, I don't own a printer. I need one several times, but I don't own one.
I had my mom's old printer, but it just it didn't work. I could not get it set up properly. It was just far too old. It needed to be put out of its misery.
Fucking Office Space it.
Honestly, I think I just chucked it in the garbage.
The fucking fax machine or whatever. Just take it out to a field.
What's their
destroy.
copier?
Was it a copier? Okay.
Yeah, I think.
Destroy fucking baseball bats.
So, if you want better printing, develop a new technology. That's the only way.
It's like it's not necessarily even the technology that sucks. Like, the final product of the printed piece of paper is fine. It's the software to make it actually fucking print is horrendous.
Fair enough.
I feel like that can be improved on. The software can be improved. It's like, the final product's already fine. It's just
Yeah, you damn near have to have a degree to set up a wireless printer.
Yeah, it's just getting it to do what you actually want it to do is the issue.
I feel bad for there's a company that does all of our big standing, like, walking printer, copier, scanner, combo things. And it's the same guy every time that comes out. He's our service rep. He services all of them for our district. And I can just see that dude constantly working on these things. I'm like, I'm sorry. You picked the wrong profession, though, brother. Good to keep your job, though.
I hope he gets paid a lot.
Like, it's good job security, I'll tell you that much. Printers are
Yeah.
always fucking breaking. So yeah, just dumb problem after dumb problem after dumb problem. That's all today's been.
That's all the last couple of weeks have been. But we got a nice 3-day weekend for
Good old Labor Day.
Labor Day. Did you do anything fun?
No.
Damn.
I took Cassidy out for a ride on my dad's bike.
I forget what he has now.
It's a KTM Super Duke 1290 GT.
That's right. I wanted to say Ducati, but I knew that wasn't right.
Right area of the world, almost. It's at least
KTM's
Eastern
Austria.
Hemisphere.
Yeah, KTM's Austria.
Ducati's Italian.
Ducati's Italy. Yeah.
I mean, it's in the right half of the world. It's not a U.S. made bike.
The right general area of the planet.
Actually, you know what? Most bikes are made on the eastern side of the world. There's like 3 American companies.
Yeah, most motorcycles either come from Europe or Japan. Or India. Fucking Harleys don't even come from America anymore. Most of them, all the parts for the fucking Harleys come from India. They're just assembled in the United States.
Is it India or Indonesia?
Probably both.
I was like, because Indonesia shows up a lot, but not usually India, because India's just a fucking shithole of a country.
No, India actually makes some decent bikes. That's where like all the Royal Enfield bikes are made. There's a couple other brands that are made there that are halfway decent. It's like obviously not like fucking Italian sports bike quality by any means, but they'll get the job done. And they're not charging you a shit ton for them anyway, so.
I mean, I'd probably trust an Indian bike more than a Chinese bike.
Yeah.
One of our janitors has this fucking Chinese dirt bike. Can't even tell you the name of it. I have no idea. And he's done all sorts of tweaks to it. He's like re-geared it, put a different sprocket ratio on there. He's like added like a tube. He like zip tied this tube onto the tail of it to carry his thermos to work.
Okay.
Just a PVC tube.
All right.
I'm like, what in the fuck is that, Jim? And he's like, well, you don't like it? It's my Chinese dirt bike. I geared it to do wheelies. I'm like, you're not the person that needs to be doing wheelies. I've never seen you once wear a helmet. He's like, nah, man, this thing's fun. I'm like, yeah, okay, sure, Jim. You tell me when that thing just explodes on you. I'll trust my Japanese bike.
Japanese really have the motorcycles down pat.
Really never had an issue with mine.
Yeah. Everything, like, except for the Yamaha. Everything, whatever the fuck's wrong with the Yamaha is the only like major issue I've ever had with a Japanese bike. All the
I just have whatever the fuck this noise is that mine makes on the
bumps,
on the tension side of the forks.
Yeah. I was like, all the other issues I can take back to me probably doing not great at upkeep, so. But, yeah.
I mean, Ethan's had pretty poor luck on everything. But that's just him. He's never had good luck on literally anything. His laptop, we all got the same laptop. His was shit. The rest of ours were just fine.
I still got mine sitting
The
right here, actually. Still works great.
the uh the Vulcan, I mean, he kind of did that one himself.
That was his own fault.
The R6 had plenty of issues.
That he knew about. That one was his own fault.
Um, his fancy dancy Aprilia he didn't have for like a month because it had issues.
Did he get rid of it?
No, he still had it.
Oh, okay.
He traded the R6 for a V Star.
Yeah. I think his V-Star's been
No,
running good.
Yeah, I don't think there's been any issues with that V Star so far.
I'm gonna put my issues with my V-Star down to just a fucking fluke. I don't think that's a general reliability issue because like everything else I've heard about the V-Stars is like they're fucking damn near bulletproof.
The only issue I ever had on my 300 was it just died one day in the drive-through. Wouldn't turn back on, and I had to bump start it. Don't know why.
I remember
Never
that.
did it again.
That was very weird.
Yeah, never did it again. Never had any other issues with that bike. With this bike, I had the fork seals go out on me, which that's not a problem of the bike. That's just this thing has lived outside its whole life. It's never been garaged, so it's got weathered. And this weird fucking noise after I got the seals replaced. But it doesn't affect the ride of the bike. It hasn't caused any issues. It just makes a little bit of a katunk. I don't know why, but it's there.
Yeah.
As I've gotten more used to the thunk existing, I've pushed the bike a little harder than I did when it first started. Kind of back to how I'd normally ride, and it's been just fine. I haven't noticed any like slippage, any weirdness with the handling of the bike, nothing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. No idea what that is.
Just a weird noise. Fucking mystery noise.
When I go to sell it, I'm just gonna say what Kyle said. I'm like, yeah, it's just a brake chatter. That's all it is. Here's new brake pads with it. Fix it yourself. I'm not gonna. Brake pads are free though. Throwing those in for free. But every time I go to like take pictures to sell it, I just look at the bike. I'm like, damn, it looks so pretty. Though I don't want to get rid of it.
Just have two bikes.
No.
Just be like, see,
I can't do that.
This bike's for you, Cassidy. Gotta go get your
I
license.
have two bikes. Don't got the space. Don't have the funds. Don't have the insurance. There'll be a lot of insurance for 600 class super sport and 900 class triple.
Yeah. Oh, I want to get my new one so bad. Just saving up money slowly.
I need to ask Tyler. It might be the Ozarks, but I have no idea where this freaking bachelor party is. And it's here in like October. Like it's next month. He's like, here's the dates. Here's what it'll cost for everyone's part of the Airbnb. I'm like, where the fuck are we going? I'm sure everyone else knows, but I fucking don't.
Be like, hey, so what the fuck's going on?
I just need to find a time to like go out disc golfing with them.
Yeah.
Be like, all right, what's the plan here?
Oh, but anyway, for me over the Labor Day weekend, we went camping, and we got us to go on a fucking surprise sailing trip.
Surprise sailing trip.
Yeah. So we were just camping, relaxing, having a good old time. And the guy that invited us, the guy and girl that invited us, one of their friends comes back She was her grandpa has a sailboat, but it's like a tiny one. So she was going sailing with him and was just getting dinner with him. So she's like, "Oh, I'll be back like around dinner time, a little after dinner time." I'm like, "Okay, cool, see you." And then she comes back. She's like, "So, one of our family friends wants to take everyone sailing. Do you guys want to go?" We're like, fuck yeah, we do." All right, can we all fit? There's like fucking 10 of us though. You're like, yeah, it's a 35-foot sailboat. Like, we're like, God damn. They're like, yeah, it's the biggest and fastest boat on the lake. We're like, hell yeah, now I'm even more excited.
How the fuck is sailboat gonna be the fastest?
Dude, they literally race each other on the lake. This sailboat, it's a 73, I think, is what they said. The dude who brought it to the lake we were staying at originally fucking trucked it all the way from Chicago. But it was originally designed as like an endurance racing sailboat, so it's fucking fast.
Like, obviously, a sailboat, like, sails can move. There was, before engines, sailboats were a thing, and there was kind of a competition of which country had the fastest ships, but engines are far quicker than fucking wind. So it's like, how is a sailboat going to beat out everything else?
It's the fastest sailboat on the lake, not the fastest boat in general, but
I thought that you were being like, it's the fastest boat out on the lake at that point. And I'm like, I don't know how that lake is, but at Wilson, I've seen people bring fucking cigarette boats out there. Why? I don't know. I don't think that's a big enough lake to be doing that, but maybe.
Nah, the fastest sailboat on the lake.
Alright.
We got fucking going pretty good, and there wasn't much wind. It was super cool though. Yeah, we like motored out of the little fucking yacht club area. Put out the fucking front sail. It's called a jib. We were just like, dang, we're moving pretty good. And he's like, all right, let's put up the mainsail. Put up the mainsail, and just like, damn, we're fucking booking it. I was like, and the lake we're at, it was Milford Lake. I think it is the biggest lake in Kansas. I know at its like widest point, it's 2 miles wide and like several miles long. So we're just like fucking sailing along, you know. We watched the fucking sunset from the boat. Then I was like, I'm gonna see how fucking far away we are. It's been like, I don't know, 30 minutes or so, something like that. It hadn't been super long. We're like fucking 4 miles away from our campsite and like 4.5 away from where we started. Like, god damn, we're fucking booking it for not using any engine power and there being like no wind. And we were actually sailing up into the wind, which is cool. I knew you could do that, but I've never seen it done before. It's called tacking. You like sail at angles back and forth and do like a zigzag to go upwind. It's really kind of cool.
The only experience I have on sailboats was not necessarily a good one. We were out at Wilson Lake. A friend of a family friend, I think. I have no idea the relations to these people. Had a sailboat, so we all went out on it. And I don't know what combination of wind versus weight or whatever happened, but we had basically formed an 85-degree angle with the boat.
That's not good.
No. And I'm like middle school at this point, so I'm fucking terrified. And they're like telling all the big dudes to go to the front of the boat to try to bring it down. It probably wasn't 85 degree, but in my mind it was. But it was getting close to tipping. Like, it was a concern of the boat owner that this thing was going to go under. And so trying to redistribute the weight to the front of the boat to get it down, like pulled up all the sails to calm it down. I'm sitting there just like shitting my pants, like this isn't fun. I don't know why people do this.
Yeah.
So I don't have good experiences on sailboats.
No, those things they do lean like a good bit, but that's a bit excessive. like, I think like 45 degrees is as much as you probably ever want to do. That's getting pretty fucking risky.
Well, it wasn't 85 degree upwards, but I mean, it was more than 45. That bitch was vertical.
Yeah. Masked about touching the fucking water.
I was not having a great time. They're like, all right, everybody, life vests on. I'm like, I don't like being here.
No, that one was fun though, especially when we were going up into the wind and we were kept like swapping the sails back and forth onto which side they were the wind was coming from, and it was just like swinging the boat back and forth like pretty good. It wasn't like super hard. It made it like hard to stand on the top deck, but yeah, I don't know. I really enjoyed it. I've always wanted to go sailing, and when she came back and said that, I'm like, hell yes. I don't care what the rest of y'all are doing. I'm fucking going.
I'd go on a sailboat again, but yeah.
Not a great first experience.
My one and only experience on a houseboat ended much the same, except for instead of almost capsizing, it was I fell asleep below deck, came up, and was horribly seasick. Nobody knew where I went, though. It was like 45 minutes. Nobody saw me. Like, where the fuck is he? Went below deck, passed the fuck out on the bed. I don't even know whose boat it was. I don't know whose bed that was. I just fell asleep on
It seems like a good spot to take a nap.
it. Pretty much. Woke up and I was like, man, that was a great nap. Mom's like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, why the fuck would I not be okay? She's like, I don't know, you might be a bit dizzy. I'm like, brother, I'm fine. Stood up and I was like, I'm not fine.
Never mind.
I'm gonna throw up.
I recant my previous statement.
He's just like, go up to the deck, stare at land, something still. I'm like, will do. I just sat there, fucking head hung over the side of the boat, staring at the land for like the next 30 minutes. I was like, that was a bad choice. Who let me do this?
I am very glad I don't really ever get motion sick. I also don't ever get like altitude sickness or anything like that. I will get it like for motion sickness, like I'll get it in VR occasionally, but I just gotta like chill out for a fucking second and then I'm good. It's nothing ever too bad.
Nah, you gotta do my patented way of VR motion sickness. Just fucking blast through a super intensive game for basically 12 hours straight, to the point where you're just laying on the floor trying to not throw up. And then the next time you play, you're fine. You'll never get sick again.
Beat it out of your system.
Exactly. Zero Caliber was the game that did that for me. Just laying on the floor afterwards, Lucas is going on. He's like, I need you to cover me. I'm like, I need you to take a chill pill because I'm about to throw up.
I need you to hold on a fucking second.
I just laid down, like held my gun up over my head, just blind fire. I'm like, there's your covering fire. Give me a moment.
Oh. I really haven't gotten sick from VR recently. I did when I first got it a little bit, but it was never really too bad. I think it was fucking Boneworks that fucked with me the most.
Gorn tends to get some people.
I never really had a problem with Gorn. It's just the area you're in is so small and stuff. It didn't really mess with me too bad.
People that have any motion sickness issues, just that whole, your eyes tell you you're moving, but the rest of your body says no. Just, oh.
Yeah, I can see how people do get sick on it, but I never really
You
have.
just mess with your sense of equilibrium, and then your body doesn't know what to do, and you just get sick. I still don't typically play with smooth turn. That messes with me.
Oh, I always do snap turning.
I've done snap turning just for everything. I think Lucas and Ethan, sorry, I have hiccups. They they're like, well, we've done smooth turning from the start. And I'm like, good for you. I've done snap for long enough that smooth turning makes me feel ill, and I don't want to do it. Plus, I would prefer not turn at all in VR. I'd rather just turn my body.
Yeah, that's usually what I do. Since I always play wireless, I just fucking turn around. Or if I want to turn around quickly, I'll fucking snap turn.
See, I don't have that luxury. I'm still wired.
Need to get a new one.
They're expensive.
Yeah.
But I am working on a potential new job that would be able to solve that problem.
Oh, yeah?
Be at Fort Hayes.
Fort Hayes?
Yeah. They hopefully it's still available. I think Fort Hayes does a decent job pulling things off whenever they get hired, not leaving them up for a month after they've already hired someone. I've run into that before. Like, oh, sorry, we already hired someone. Forgot this was up. I'm like, brother, this thing's a month old.
Fix it. Fix your shit.
But it's basically the exact job I'm looking for. I'm a little nervous about it, but it's kind of like a midway point between I do now and like a full-blown system admin.
Yeah.
Which, in order for me to get into cybersecurity stuff, they're like, all of them have prior experience as a network or sysadmin. I'm like, what the fuck? I was told there are entry-level jobs in the cyber field. And then they're like, this is entry-level. You have to have a bunch of other experience before you can even get to entry-level. Like, what the fuck? That's not entry-level.
That's not entry-level.
They're like, well, it's entry-level for security. I'm like, fuck you. Fine. So I've been trying to find a remote, like, junior sysadmin, doing all the stuff for that job, but they know you don't have the experience, so they're training you as you go.
Yeah.
But those are really hard to find, because anytime one of them exists, everybody pounces on it.
Yeah.
So this popped up, and it's a bit more intensive than what I do now. I would, like, sort of be in charge of the Tier 1 and Tier 2 techs at Fort Hayes. But Tier 1 in this job is basically what Tier 2s do there. Tier 1 at Fort Hayes just answers phones. So I'm moving up a rung. If I get it, the pay is nice. It's like an extra $6 than what I get paid now.
That's good.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say so. But I feel like I'm a little underqualified for it. But I'm gonna I spent all day... Not all day, I had very little time. The very little time I had of downtime today, I was writing my cover letter for it and having some people proofread it. I just need to get my transcript, and then I can put my name in the hat.
Yeah.
Messaged Bryce, talked to my mom, talked to Spencer, just everybody I know that works at Fort Hayes, and I was like, is this a good idea? Is Fort Hayes a good place to work at the moment? Because some places like the hospital would be a no. No matter what the position is, no matter what they pay, you just don't want to work at the hospital.
Not worth it.
It's not worth it. And basically everything's saying, yeah, right now is a pretty good time. Bryce is like, oh, this place is chill as hell. Plus, you're not working with snotty ass high schoolers and middle schoolers. You're working with professors.
Yeah.
Since you're not Tier 1, Tier 2, you wouldn't have to ever work with the students And I was like, oh, that would be nice. But the big thing that I don't know how to do, that's kind of like half the job, is creating images for desktops. Like, I've deployed images. I know that part, but I've never made them. So if they're willing to work on me with that, then we're good.
How hard could it be?
It's not very. I even talked to Brian, our guy that does that, and he goes, it's just time consuming, but it's not hard. And I've worked on computers my entire life. It's like I can learn it pretty quick.
Yeah.
It won't be a problem. Just as long as somebody's willing to show me.
Well, that sounds nice.
But I could start to afford a lot more stuff. VR headsets, chair. This chair sucks. This chair blows.
I need a fucking like whole new setup for my computers. Like I'm still using a fucking like old ass chair from like the 70s. It's comfy, but it's not a fucking office chair. My desk is actually Cassie's old desk. It works. It's a desk. My computer's currently sitting on a fucking dresser. My gaming monitor is a old TV. It all works. It could use some upgrades though. But
Yeah.
I can't complain. It all functions fine, and I'm not a super serious gamer by any means. So
No, but even if you're not a super serious gamer, just having some nice quality of life improvements, brother.
it all works, and it's how I've played computer games my entire life. So it's fine. It is and the reason it is like this is because it has always been very low on my a priority list. It's like I will have the bare minimum to keep it running, but I'm really not going to spend much more than that. I haven't had the
Fair enough.
I haven't had the free well, I have the freedom to be able to afford to upgrade all this stuff, but I would rather upgrade like my motorcycle or stuff for the house or like pay off my truck more than I'd like to have a fancy new monitor or a nice desk.
Yeah, I got lucky with this desk. Cassidy found it on Facebook Marketplace or something. Due to selling it hella cheap, and it's a full-blown L desk. So I was like, yeah, that's gonna be a lot better than my fucking not even plywood. It was like particle board desk that I was using before. Much bigger, much more stable. So we got that. This chair, the actual hydraulics on it haven't worked for like 2 years. So as I'm sitting in it, it'll just randomly just lose all of its pressure and I just go down. It's really cool.
Whoever thought of fucking particle board for like furniture is a goddamn idiot and also a genius.
So that dude made fucking bank. I don't know what you're talking about.
Like taking this waste product and making it into functioning boards. Smart as shit. They're also fucking terrible though. But they're also insanely cheap.
Yeah, it came from Walmart. Actually, Ethan, I think? Ethan or Spencer had the exact same. It was Spencer. Had the same fucking table as me. He moved in. I went, that looks familiar. Hold on. I went, took a picture of mine, walked over to his room, and went, we have the same desk, brother.
Good old particle board.
Yeah, the big thing, if I did manage to land this job, which I would be so hyped if I did. A better apartment. That's the big thing it would afford me.
Would you get like a better apartment, or would you start looking to like rent a house?
Well, we would. It would be a house rental.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be owning the house. Something with some protection for my car or bike. Something with less fucking annoying ass people around us. Better parking situation that's part of the garage area. More space.
Yeah, having a garage is nice. Even though my garage is super shitty, but just being able to keep things out of the elements is nice.
I don't care how shit it is. If I can put my bike in there, that's all I care about. That's half the reason I haven't pulled the trigger on getting a new bike, is somewhere to store it. Like, I could put it at Blades, I could put it at my parents, but I want it
It's
in
kind
my
of
possession.
yeah. It's like that's kind of annoying to have to drive over there to go drive your own vehicle.
Exactly. So having somewhere nice, somewhere to store my own bike would be cool. Be a nice addition.
I was doing some looking while we were talking. I can't find the goddamn bike I want fucking anywhere. I don't know why it's such a hard bike to find. The closest I can find is still 70 miles away from me. And they won't even give you a price on it.
I mean, I gotta drive for my bike. 70's closer than the nearest to me. Fucking Salina's 100 miles away, and that's not even the closest. When it comes to buying a bike, you expect to drive to get it.
You do. You fucking drive all over the place for your last couple bikes.
For all my bikes. Missouri and Nebraska.
Yeah, didn't you get the one you have now came from like fucking Omaha or
Nebraska.
some shit.
Yeah. A suburb of Omaha. It came from, yeah. Not Bellevue. Actually, maybe it might be Bellevue. Google Maps. Omaha. Yeah, it came from Bellevue. Right there, that apartment complex. I know because there's a pizza place nearby. And it was a really good pizza. It was Cop's Pizza. They got a Golden Corral. Let's go.
And your winter test one, that one came from fucking Missouri.
Yep. Came from, zoom. Came from... Not there. Harrisonville. Came from outside of Harrisonville in this farm. This farm girl got the bike thinking she was gonna ride it all the time, and then realized riding a sport bike in a farm is a little hard. And not for her. I'm like, yeah, that's crazy, ain't it? Road bike on dirt, all dirt roads, gonna be a little hard.
She's the bike I'm looking at. Man, I want this thing so fucking bad.
So just vehicles in general. You just... I myself always expect to drive to get a vehicle. I think when it comes to vehicles, you can afford to be picky. It's a big purchase. It's something that you're gonna have for a while, so might as well get something that you want. And if there's a Honda Civic in town, that would do just fine for me. But I don't want a Honda Civic. I want a Toyota Camry, but that Camry's in Wichita. Well, I'm driving to Wichita.
I'd be willing to drive that far, but here's the thing. Let's go here on to Cycle Trader real quick. My zip code within 400 miles. Let's see. There is 1, 2. 3. There's 3 that exist within 400 miles of me.
Just tell my dad. Just be like, hey, I want this bike, but I can't find it. And he will do the exact same thing you're doing, exact same search on Cycle Trader, and he'll be like,
Oh, here's one.
I found fucking 40 of them. And you're like, how? I don't know how he does it, but then I go back and research it. Like,
And they're just not fucking there.
do the search again, and then all of a sudden they're there, and I'm like, dude, all I did was refresh the page. The fuck happened?
Yeah. I was like, there's one in Oklahoma City, which is just under 200 miles away from me. There's one in Moscow Mills, Missouri, which is 260 miles away from me. And there's one in Arkansas, which is also like 280 miles away from me. That one's pretty cheap, though, actually. No freight or prep fee. That one might be worth the drive. That one's pretty cheap. And then, yeah, the next one's like just under 400 miles away in fucking Iowa or Illinois, one of the two. And there's one...
Is it IL?
I don't know. I scrolled past it. IL, Illinois.
Illinois.
And then there's one in Bartlesville, which is actually pretty close to where I live. But...
Is that Missouri?
No, that's Oklahoma. But they don't give you a price. You have to fucking call them for the price. And I hate doing that. I'm like, just tell me how much the fucker is.
If you zoom in on Bartlesville, apparently one of the biggest places in that place is Joe the Mechanic.
Joe the Mechanic.
Like, you zoom in just enough for it to give you pins on stuff in there. And you get fucking Joe the Mechanic.
Okay. Who the fuck is Joe?
I don't know, but he's apparently a really good mechanic. Yeah, Bellevue is 337 miles. 5-hour trip one way.
I'm willing to drive for something. I don't know if I'm willing to drive that fucking far.
Oh, we did it in one day. It was 10 hours.
Yeah, I know you did. I know you did. Because
It was a long-ass trip.
I fucking came over to your parents' house as soon as you got back because I wanted to see it.
I think we recruited you to help get it off the truck.
Yeah. That too. Helping you unload
So we're
it.
like, yeah, we're like, you have... These are your ramps. Come help us unload and you can have them back.
Yeah, this one place in Oklahoma. Actually, this is a different place. There's 2 places in Oklahoma City that have them. One of them, that is not a 2024. That is listed wrong. So maybe there's just one in Missouri that has the 2024s, because that is definitely a 2023 model right there. 2024s do not come in purple. But yeah, they're fucking expensive.
Welcome to new motorcycles. Oh, oh, yeah.
If I can get
I,
it for the price of the one in Arkansas is selling for, I'd be very happy. Because that's how much they're like supposed to go for, actually.
just call the dealership and be like, listen, there's this other place that's selling it for this much, but I'd rather buy it from you. Can you match that price?
Yeah.
My dad did. My dad called like 5 different dealerships when he was buying his stuff, doing that same thing. Seeing who would bargain with him, who would give him the best deal.
How fucking far away is this place in Arkansas? God damn. It's a stupid fucking name town too. Sorry. It's called like Bono.
Yeah, fuck you, Bono, Arkansas.
That is a tiny little town.
Yeah, I bought my 300 from a farm, brother. You can find good bikes anywhere.
Yep, you just gotta do the looking. Oh, it's over by Jonesboro. That's why. That's a bigger town. How far away from my house? Home. 6 hours.
Oh, yeah, let's go. Day trip.
6 hour drive. Gotta go through Springfield,
Day trip.
Missouri.
Day trip.
My thing would be I'd do the 6 hour drive, get there, fucking hate the bike, and go home empty handed. Fucking Ethan and Lucas went with fucking Daryl through down here where I live all the way to fucking I think it was Springfield, Missouri, to go look at a fucking truck with him. And he got there, he's like, man, this thing's a piece of shit, and they turned around and went home empty handed.
Yep. I remember that. They were all pissed and didn't go with him to the second truck.
Yeah. Sorry.
I think they tried to warn him that the truck didn't look that good, but he went anyway.
Yeah. That's the only thing that worries me about driving that far, but if you're buying a brand new vehicle, you shouldn't have that issue.
No. That's why you give dealerships a call ahead. Be like, listen, I got a 6 hour drive. I'm not driving down there and leaving with nothing.
Yeah.
So,
Fucking
be straight. What's the bike like?
Or you could be like the dealership in Salina. To be fair, I didn't call ahead. We just showed up like, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes after they opened to go look at I think it was a Honda Shadow I was looking at. We got there like 30 minutes after the open. Like, there's no way they're going to sell this bike in 30 minutes. It's fine. Got there, fucking sold already. Literally the instant they opened the door, they had 3 people there trying to buy it. I was like, God fucking damn. All right, never mind. Guess I ain't getting that bike.
Yeah?
That's why I got the V-Star instead.
Because that one got sold.
That one sold so fast. It's like, yeah, we got there, I looked at it, had the fucking sold. I was like, oh yeah, it's here. It's a sweet bike. Had the fucking sold tag, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? And I go and talk to the guy. He's like, yeah, dude, there was like fucking 5 people out the door this morning, like right when we unlocked the doors, trying to fucking buy this thing. I'm sorry. I was like, it's not even like that cool of a bike. I don't know why so many people wanted it. It's like a Shadow 800.
I mean, Shadows are pretty cool.
I mean, they're nice bikes, but I didn't think they'd be that desirable.
Well, that's where you're wrong.
Evidently. God, that was such a long drive.
That is right about an hour.
Yep.
No nerds today, just chainsaws.
Yep. A little nerds, us bitching about printers.
I mean, everybody hates printers, though. That's not specifically a nerd's topic.
And haunted computers that are just
Now,
so broken that they shut themselves off.
knowing that printers are tracking you is a little bit nerdy, but that's about it.
Yeah.
But I think that's a good place right there. So, thank you guys for tuning into this episode of Nerds with Chainsaws. And we will catch you next week with some nerd subjects.
Yep. See you guys next week.